Hi, I'm Hazel. It's almost Saturday today, which makes it time to sit down and catch up on the WoW news of the week and what I've been up to, and then answer some viewer questions. For news, we have an official release date for patch 8.15. It is coming on Tuesday, as in this Tuesday on March the 12th. Biggest highlights from this patch are probably the release of Culturan humans and Zandalari trolls as playable allied races. Those are in this patch. They are coming on Tuesday. If you are ready to unlock them, then you will have them done on Tuesday. If you are not ready to unlock them, then you're going to be doing some rep grinding and catching up on some quest achievements that you forgot that you didn't have. I'm actually personally really looking forward to the new Raiding with Leashes achievement. They're adding new pets to Mogashan Vaults, Terrace of Endless Spring, and Heart of Fear. I went back and poked around in those raids to just kind of get a feel for how difficult they might be to solo. I had in my mind that they were really hard, and that's probably because I haven't tried it in like years and years and years. They're not hard anymore, and actually, I don't want to say this too loud because I don't want to jinx it, but they're not bad gold. You know, from vendoring all of the loot you get, especially if you run them on 25-man version, plus the gold you get off of the bosses, it's not a bad amount of gold from running those raids, so I'm looking forward to being able to do that. I mean, I could do it now, but I'm looking forward to being able to do that and have pets to farm. That'll be fun. Also, backing up a little bit to rep grinding for new allied races, I'm done. But if you are not done, this is the week to do it. You have the Darkmoon Fair up, so you can go get your Wii buff for 10% extra rep from that, and it's World Quest bonus week. And then you grab a contract, and then just doing World Quest is a ton of rep this week. So if you are not caught up yet, Alliance are looking for Proudmoore Admiralty for Culturan humans, and Horde want Zandalari Empire for Zandalari trolls. If you're not finished with those yet, I believe in you. You can do it this weekend. There's just so much rep out there if you just like get all of those things, Darkmoon Fair buff, contract, and just do as many world quests as you can, and you'll be fine. Another release date that was announced this week was for the Crucible of Storms, which is part of patch 8.15, but is not releasing with 8.15, which is probably for the best. I know quite a few people are not done with BOD yet. Are we calling it BOD? We should call it BOD. Crucible of Storms is going to be dropping on April 16th, so about a month into 8.15, which I feel like is the right amount of time. If it were a full-fledged raid, I would still say that that's too early, but it's only 2 bosses, and the loot that you can get from Crucible of Storms should help you finish clearing Battle of Dazara lore if you're not done yet, so that should be good, and I will have raid guides, pinky swear. A more contentious topic this week related to 8.15 is the removal of some portals as we transition away from our current model of just like portal pox across the world and into a condensed portal room. There are some new portals being added, but we're also losing a few, and people are not happy about it. The portals that are specifically being lost are Caverns of Time, Dalaran Crater, Karazhan, Wormrest Temple, Vale of Eternal Blossoms, and Hellfire Peninsula. So those are all locations that I have been to before. The ones that I use a lot are Karazhan, and that's mostly because I'm too lazy sometimes to fly south from Stormwind to get to Zul'Gurub. Another workaround for that is just to take the Honor Hold Mage port to the Blasted Lands and then fly west. That will work after the patch. There is also a Karazhan teleport ring that I probably should pick up. Wormrest Temple is pretty close to Northrend Dalaran, so for me that's fine. I don't really go there that often anyways. Vale of Eternal Blossoms is a place that I used to go to just for the portals there, so now that the portals aren't there anymore, that's not a problem. And then Dalaran Crater, that one hurts. My 2 most missed portals are going to be Caverns of Time, because there's a whole bunch of instances right there, and then Dalaran Crater, especially as Alliance. For Caverns of Time, you can port to Uldum and then fly east. It's not as fast, but it's about a minute of flying. It's not the worst thing ever, but for Dalaran Crater, if I ever need to get anywhere in the Northern Eastern Kingdoms as an Alliance player, your options are hope that the Arathi Warfront is up and take that port, because that's up half the time, and then if that's not up, I guess you port to the Twilight Highlands and fly north again, and that is a long flight. So that is one that I do hope that they put in some other method for. Like everything else I feel like I can still get to. Another part of this that was ruffling some people's feathers was the blue post that they put out to explain their logic behind the changes, which some people don't agree with. It was just generally about trying to not shrink the world too much. Like they want to make sure the world still feels like a world, and they feel like too much fast travel can take away from that. In my opinion, they might be right, but I don't think that this was the particular hill to die on, especially not right now. I feel like you could have saved a good amount of goodwill by just leaving the Legion Dalaran portals. And in all of this portal removal kerfuffle, it is easy to miss that some things are being made easier portal-wise. We are getting a new port to Asuna. I don't know what's out there that I need, but if you want to get to Asuna, there will be a port to that in your portal room. And then Northrend Dalaran and Shattrath are both going to be faster to get to because you don't have to go via Veil of Eternal Blossoms anymore. You can just go right from your portal room. So I wouldn't say that I'm happy, but I'm not that mad about the lost portals. But what I am mad about is that my shiny new Borealis teleport ring that I spent 300 service medals on triggers a 30-second cooldown when I equip it. So I'm like down at the Darkmoon Fair or wherever, and I want to use that to port back to Borealis, and I put it on, and then I have to sit around and wait for 30 seconds like it's some kind of a trinket. That is not the case with other teleport items such as the Stormwind Cloak, and I am upset about it. In my raiding life lately, my guild and I killed Heroic Jaina last night. We are done. We're ahead of the curve. It's over. Jaina was a really fun fight, and I don't feel like she was that much harder on Heroic than she was on normal, but we did have problems with Conclave and Mechatork, not just in progression, but in reprogression. It's like the third week that we have killed Conclave and the second week that we've killed Mechatork, and we had like over an hour of reprogression just trying to re-clear it on farm each time. Those fights are, well, Conclave is like a wall. I will continue to argue that. I don't know what our problem is with Mechatork. It's just like, I feel like it's such an endurance fight. It's not that complicated, but it's so long. And because it's not that complicated, it's sort of tuned so that if you make one mistake, you lose somebody or somebody doesn't clear a bot, you're probably going to wipe. So we had some difficulties with that this week, but doesn't matter. Cleared the raid, killed Jaina, and we're not and have never been a mythic guild. So this is as far as we go, and that is fine. I don't think we're going to actually clear it too many more times just because I don't know how many people still need gear at a Battle of Dazar'alor. Like, there's so much better gear from like Mythic Plus and like the Mythic Plus weekly chest that I don't think I really need anything else. I'm disappointed by the trinkets available in Dazar'alor. Like, Incandescent Sliver is great, and I've got that. And then in my second slot, I'm just using the Crested Paku because that's the second best one, but it's only okay, and I don't know. Anyways. Another thing that's gotten into me in WoW lately is with the Two Sides achievement coming up, which if you missed it, if you do the War Campaign and questing achievements on Horde and Alliance, you get mounts basically. With that coming up, I need to do some Horde stuff, and I'm starting to realize that I just don't really like my Horde Druid. I just don't like questing on a Druid. Druids for me are for Resto and for Arena. And that's the only thing that I like doing on them. I'm not like, I'll go Boomkin or I'll go Feral and I'll be questing, and I'm just not feeling it. So I actually last night did the Nightborn unlock quest line and made myself a Nightborn Arcane Mage. And I don't know when I'm going to level that, but I am much more excited about it. Coming up, I'm doing a live stream this afternoon at the normal time, and I think I'm going to be doing Siege of Borealis. For the first time, I haven't done it yet. I was just kind of thinking I could just get away with not doing it. I don't even have a problem with it. I have nothing against it. I just, it was just kind of a thing, but I'm going to have to do it if I want to unlock Ultra Inhuman. So I'm probably doing that this afternoon on stream. And then next week on Thursday, baking stream in the morning, 10 a.m. Pacific time. And questions from this week, I am doing quite a few today, so buckle up. Catherine asks, have you or can you do a video guide on island expeditions? I have not, and I definitely can. I have been loving island expeditions lately, and I'm starting to shake off my shame of saying that. Like, sometimes I feel like that's just... I've been doing quite a few of them, and I've definitely built up some tips to share, so I can totally do that. And Nick asks, what's your favorite generation of Pokemon, and what is your preferred starter type? So, second gen is my favorite. I had Pokemon Gold as a wee child, and I loved my Pokemon Gold quite a bit. We did have Pokemon Blue, but I had to share Pokemon Blue with my sister, and if you're familiar with Pokemon games, sharing a save file, not so good, and you can't have multiple save files, so Pokemon Gold was my first Pokemon love. I almost always prefer grass starter types, but I'm flexible enough that it depends on the design of them. With second gen, I am very much a Chikorita person, but with the new gen that they just announced with Sword and Shield, I am looking at the starters and I really like Sobble. He's just so cute, so I feel like that's the one for me. Belmore asks, what would be your ideal setting and location and theme for the next expansion or any of the upcoming expansions? I feel like it would be probably, like, if they're ever going to do this, it would be for this upcoming next expansion, and I want a Sleeping City Neolotha expansion. I want to see this place that Xalatath spent all of last expansion hyping up to me, and I think that if we're ever going to go there, it would probably be next expansion. That's kind of the direction that I feel like we're heading, not because I follow the story, but because I have eyes and I can see the tentacles. Motor Daffodil asks, do you have any preferred spots or instances where you like to do straight up raw gold farming from time to time? So whenever I get like that itch to just sort of set up somewhere and clear things for gold, I always like to go to Zul'Farrak. It's less fun now that I have all of the transmog from there, but just the greens from that whole level range tend to sell quite well, and in Zul'Farrak you can mount up, which means you can vendor stuff as you go. So I like that one, and then if I'm going to do open world farming, then I tend to do that in Vol'dun lately because I want a Dune Scavenger, and I don't have one yet, and I need it. Also, you can get BOEs that you can sell quite well, and you're going to get cloth, and you can sell that, and like that's all good, but hyenas. Fede asks, I understand that creating a character on a specific realm might affect the auction house economy because of the population and the guilds. However, what about battlegrounds, raids, dungeons? Is one server better for PvP, for example? The answer to that one is no. It is just guilds and the auction house economy. Those are the only things that are affected when you choose a server. Everything else is cross-server. The only benefit to choosing a specific server for PvP would be to choose one that has a PvP guild that is good for finding teams with, and you can get that same functionality out of communities anyway, so I wouldn't worry about it. Dances asks, how do you decide which pets to use your battle stones on first? I have an army of battle pets that need to be upgraded, and I would say that depends on what you have leveled already. If you are at the point in your pet collection where you have no problem doing any of your pet battle world quests and you have no problem two-petting any tamers that you might like to two-pet, after that point, just go for whatever, you know? If you like go through all of everybody's list of like top 10 pets to use and try to make sure you have all of the ones that could be useful leveled up. But if you're already past that point and you're just trying to like 100% level your collection, it stops mattering and you start leveling pets that you will never ever use. So don't worry about it too much and just chuck them out like candy. Casey asks, what brand of fish tank do you have? My cats keep jumping on top of mine and I want to get one without a top, so they stop. Any suggestions? So my first piece of advice would be I would definitely stick with a lidded tank. Firstly, because many fish jump, and secondly, because cats can catch fish. And it's not great to have your cat on top of your fish tank, but it's worse to have your cat eating your fish out of your fish tank. This one is a PetSmart brand. It's like their knockoff of the Fluval Spec 5 kind of dealio. I would prefer the Fluval tank. And then the rest of my tanks are like cheap Aqueon ones with Aqueon lids because all the tank really has to do is hold water. I'm not a big fan of most aquarium kits anyways, so like the extra stuff I usually buy individually. But that wasn't your question. As far as your cat jumping on your aquarium, something you could try depending on like how it's set up and how the cat is getting to the top of the aquarium. If you can like line the area that the cat has to step on in order to get on top of it with aluminum foil. In my experience, cats do not like stepping on aluminum foil and they will actively avoid doing so, so you might be able to stop it in that way. Brandon asks, I have about 600 plus pet charms from BFA and I have lost track of which pets I bought. Do you have a video about all of the buyable pets in-game if you haven't already? So I don't have a comprehensive video on that. I did something very similar before BFA came out showing the vendors and what was on them. It was a little bit incomplete based on what we found out later. So what I would do for you is go on to warcraftpets.com, set yourself up with an account and import your character, and then go to your print checklist feature, and that will show you all of the pets that you have not collected along with their sources. And you can really easily pick out from that list which ones are available for charms, and it'll also tell you what the vendor is, so it's easier for you to find. And it should also mark if you need reputation, because all of the reputation pets in BFA are for pet charms. So that's the place I would go for that information, and that'll be better for you because it will be personalized to what you do and do not have. Marissa asks, I love playing WoW but have lost the motivation to play due to not having friends who play anymore. What are some things that you enjoy doing in the game that keep you playing? So for me, the big ones are alts and collecting stuff, specifically pets and mounts, but transmog when I get like the transmog collecting bug. Those are things that have always motivated me to continue playing even when I haven't had any people to play with. In a couple of different expansions, I have played WoW completely on my own, just like purely sustained by those things. But as you know, the game is totally a whole new world when you have like-minded people to play it with. So I would say, don't give up hope on finding people just yet. And Nisbet asks, question, if you could have any mount from a non-Blizzard game in WoW, what would it be and why? So I was like picking my brain for games that are not WoW that have mounts that I can think of, and The only thing I can remember is the donkey from Black Desert Online, which we actually have in WoW now. We have like a very similar looking donkey. And then I had a pretty sweet horse in Stardew Valley, but we also have horses already. Like, WoW does mounts really well. There is no shortage of mounts in WoW. So I would say whichever game has rabbits that you can ride. I'm sure there must be one out there, and I would very much like to ride a rabbit, and that is wise, because I want big bunny mounts. Like, gnomes on big bunnies is my preferred aesthetic for playing WoW. And that has been my week. Thank you guys very much for watching. Let me know what you think, and if you have any questions that you would like answered on a vlog, please leave them in the comments of the most recent vlog and include the word question. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next live stream, and I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye!